What is happening, fellow Cobras? Welcome back to Strike First Media. Now that we've gotten to sit with it for a little while that Cobra Kai Season 6 is going to be indeed the last season of the show, it's caused me to do a lot of theorizing over the past few weeks and months to try and figure out what exactly we're going to see from this final season. And I have a lot of content coming regarding my thoughts and what I think could happen in this final season. But with this video, I kind of wanted to start off a little bit small. It's not some crazy or outlandish theory, but it's about what I think the final episode title for Cobra Kai will be. And I am very, very confident that this indeed will be the title of the last episode. So if you go back and look at all the episode titles that we've got through the past 5 seasons, most of, if not all of the titles, have some sort of callback or connection to the Karate Kid films, whether it be events that have happened, names of things, or certain lines that have been said by some of the most iconic characters. And so with this last episode, you're gonna want to pick a name that brings things full circle. The title of the very first episode, the pilot in Cobra Kai Season 1, that was of course called Ace Degenerate, and most of us recall that line from the original 1984 Karate Kid film. It was the nickname that Johnny's buddy Tommy had often called him up until that point. But it's important to note that up until that point, right after Tommy said to Johnny, "You're still the Ace Degenerate," Johnny replied to Tommy saying, "No, X-Degenerate, man. 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm a senior, I got 1 year to make it all work, and that's what I'm gonna do, make it work." And yes, that is what I think the final episode of Cobra Kai needs to be titled as, X-Degenerate. I have so many reasons why I think this needs to be the title. In the Karate Kid, up until that point, Johnny was seemingly the bad boy of the valley, the typical 80s bad boy, always getting into trouble with the fighting, the drinking, and all that type of bad stuff. But it was very mature of Johnny to say that he really wanted to turn a new leaf and change for the better. He no longer wanted to be a degenerate. That's why he wanted to be the X-Degenerate. And he mostly wanted to do this because he wanted to do it for himself and most importantly for Ali. But then Daniel LaRusso came to town and kind of threw a wrench in that whole plan for him. And so that caused Johnny to never actually become that X-Degenerate. He remained the Ace Degenerate for the next 35, 40 years. And up until the Cobra Kai series, he remained the Ace Degenerate. And that's of course why the first episode is titled Ace Degenerate as well. But throughout the Cobra Kai series, we've seen Johnny go through a number of different transformations. He's almost a completely different person than he was in the first episode of Cobra Kai. He's still got the similar Johnny elements, but he's definitely a different person now, and he's got different priorities set in place. If you look at Season 1 Johnny Lawrence and now compare him to the end of Season 5 heading into Season 6 Johnny Lawrence, he's a completely different person in terms of his priorities. In Season 1, he was living alone, drinking all day, and just working odd jobs just to get by. He was an absent father and really didn't care about anyone. He was still holding a 30-year-long grudge against Daniel LaRusso for losing in the All Valley tournament. Johnny was just so messed up that he couldn't really get himself out of this rut that he created for himself. But now when you fast forward to the end of Season 5, he now has a girlfriend that he's likely going to get married to, he's expecting a child with, he's now actually being a father to his actual son, and he's become the surrogate father for a kid that has no father in his life and that really needs him. He's become a mentor that you can really look up to and aspire to be like in a sense. And heck, his relationship with Daniel LaRusso, someone he despised and held a grudge for 30+ years. That same Daniel LaRusso is arguably his best friend right now, and they're even running their own dojo together. If you would have told me all this stuff would be happening back in Season 1, I would have thought you would have lost your mind. And all this stuff just furthers my point. Johnny Lawrence is no longer the Ace Degenerate. He's now that X-Degenerate that he was trying to get to back in the Karate Kid in 1984. Now, it isn't the end of the world if the final episode of Cobra Kai isn't called X-Degenerate, but one of the things that Cobra Kai strives under is the symbolism behind each and every callback that they do in the show, and just things finally coming full circle that tie into and do justice to the Karate Kid franchise. And I seriously hope that X-Degenerate is that final episode title. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments section, what do you think are the chances that X-Degenerate is going to be in fact the title of the final episode of Cobra Kai? You all know what to do next. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave this video a like so it can get pushed out to more and more people throughout the Cobra Kai community, and make sure to subscribe to Strike First Media as I'll keep you up to date on all Cobra Kai series news, theories, updates, and all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.